Most people grow older. Very few actually grow up. Asterisk. Here's the uncomfortable psychological truth. Age does not create maturity. Time alone does nothing. In fact, research consistently shows that only a small percentage of adults ever develop what psychology defines as true emotional maturity. Not because they can't, but because most never slow down enough to build it. Asterisk. Maturity isn't automatic. Asterisk. It's earned quietly, painfully, and often invisibly. Asterisk. The strange part. The most mature people rarely realize they are mature. They don't announce it, they don't perform it, but they leave behind something unmistakable, a behavioral fingerprint, a consistent pattern of how they think, pause, respond, and move through the world, and psychology has identified these patterns. Not as personalities, not as labels, but as archetypes, internal operating systems shaped by experience, loss, self-control, and awareness. The first of these is the observer. Observers don't speak first, they don't rush into conversations, they don't fight for attention or try to dominate rooms. Asterisk. Instead, they pause. Asterisk. Psychology calls this delayed response processing, the ability to stop, analyze, and respond instead of reacting. Observers learned something early in life that most people never learn. Silence reveals more than noise. Asterisk. They notice micro-expressions. Asterisk. They read intentions instead of words. Asterisk. They watch patterns, repeat before others even notice a pattern exists. Asterisk. Observers understand people without needing explanations. They don't interrupt to prove intelligence. They don't react emotionally just to feel included. They collect information quietly, and that restraint is not weakness. It's discipline. Asterisk. If you're the kind of person who scans the room before stepping into it. Asterisk. If you listen more than you speak. Asterisk. If you sense shifts in energy before conflict happens. That's not social anxiety. That's maturity forming. Asterisk. Observers don't rush life. They don't overshoot, and they don't need to be seen to feel secure. Their strength comes from awareness, and awareness is the foundation of every higher form of maturity. Asterisk. But observation alone isn't enough. Asterisk. Because eventually, life tests your emotional control, and that's where the next archetype is forged. Asterisk. Part 2. The Stoic. Feeling everything, reacting to nothing. Stoic maturity is often misunderstood. People assume Stoic individuals are cold, detached, or emotionally numb. Psychology shows the opposite. Stoics feel deeply, sometimes more deeply than anyone else in the room. The difference is not emotion, the difference is regulation. Asterisk. Stoics learned one hard lesson through disappointment, betrayal, or failure. Not everything deserves a reaction. Asterisk. Psychology refers to this as high response delay. The ability to experience emotion fully without immediately expressing it. You feel anger, but you don't let it drive your behavior. You feel pain, but you don't let it dictate your choices. This is not repression. This is control. Asterisk. Stoics don't escalate drama. Asterisk. They don't chase arguments. Asterisk. They don't try to win emotional battles that cost inner peace. Asterisk. While others collapse under pressure. Stoics stabilize the environment. While others react impulsively, Stoics slow the moment down. Asterisk. If you're the person who stays calm when others panic. Asterisk. If chaos sharpens your focus instead of breaking you. Asterisk. If you choose silence over explosive honesty. That's not emotional distance. That's emotional mastery. Asterisk. Stoic maturity doesn't come from comfort. It comes from repeated exposure to disappointment, and the conscious decision to respond differently each time. Asterisk. But emotional control alone doesn't complete maturity. Asterisk. Because true maturity isn't just about managing yourself, it's about how you treat others when they are broken. Asterisk. That's where the next archetype appears. Part 3. The healer and the strategist. Asterisk. Healers are rare, not because they fix people, but because they don't judge brokenness. They listen without competing. They comfort without controlling. They support without expecting repayment. Psychology links this to secure attachment, not something built through privilege, but through past wounds that were faced instead of avoided. Healers have felt pain deeply enough to recognize it in others, and restrained enough not to weaponize it. Asterisk. They don't advertise their wisdom. Asterisk. They don't perform empathy. Asterisk. They simply become the person others run to when life collapses. Asterisk. If people open up to you without knowing why. Asterisk. If strangers feel safe around you. Asterisk. If you hold space without needing credit. That's healer maturity. But maturity also shows up in a quieter, a more calculating form. The strategist. Strategists appear calm, but behind that calm is constant simulation. Psychology describes them as future-oriented processes. Before acting, they mentally run outcomes. Consequences matter more than emotions. Asterisk strategists don't rush decisions. Asterisk they don't chase trends. Asterisk they don't need validation to move. They plan silently. They move quietly. Asterisk and when results appear, people assume it was luck. It wasn't. If your maturity shows in discipline. Asterisk if you sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term stability. Asterisk if your self-control speaks louder than your words. You carry the strategist's fingerprint. But there's one final archetype, often misunderstood, often mislabeled. Part 4, The Lone Wolf and the Truth About Maturity. Asterisk. Lone wolves are not antisocial. They are not broken. They are not afraid of connection. They are self-sufficient. Psychology calls this autonomous individuation, the ability to stay emotionally connected to others without depending on them for identity, validation, or peace. Asterisk lone wolves discovered something early. Solitude is not emptiness. It's clarity. Being alone sharpens thinking. It deepens self-awareness. Asterisk. It protects peace. They don't fear silence. They use it. If you recharge alone. Asterisk if you think best without noise. Asterisk if independence feels natural, not lonely. That's not isolation. That's mature autonomy. Asterisk. And here's the truth most people miss. Asterisk true maturity isn't about age, career, money, or status. It's about the shape of your inner world. If you saw yourself in any of these archetypes, the observer, the stoic, the healer, the strategist, or the lone wolf, you carry a level of maturity most people never reach. Asterisk and if you didn't, you're not behind, because maturity isn't something you're born with. Asterisk it's built through loss, responsibility, and the quiet decisions no one ever sees. No one ever sees. Maturity is not a destination. It's a pattern, and you shape it every single day. If this changed the way you see yourself, subscribe. Asterisk we go deeper every day.